Tonight, a single silent clip has set the internet on fire. A so-called leaked runway moment. Erica Kirk in black, Usha Vance at her side. No mics, no speeches, just a glance and a touch that the web can't stop replaying. Was it compassion in the middle of chaos, or the most perfectly timed gesture in recent political memory? We're not saying what happened. We can't, and no one has verified the source of this footage. But the reaction is explosive. Fans are shocked, timelines split, and comment sections look like battlegrounds. Some viewers see two women carrying unbearable grief with grace. Others insist there's a deeper strategy. A quiet message sent without a word. DMs are buzzing, hashtags are trending, and everyone swears they know the truth. Here's what we'll do. We'll walk through what people say they saw, why it matters, and how that 7-second moment became a lightning rod for loyalty, optics, and power. No verdicts, no claims, just the story the internet is telling right now. Because when a hush falls over the runway and cameras keep rolling, even a held hand can feel like a headline. Stay with us. This is where sympathy meets suspicion, and the fallout begins. The clip begins without warning. A soft blur of light, a wind-swept runway, and two figures walking side by side. One is the widow of a man whose name once filled every conservative headline. The other, the wife of the new vice president. In that quiet space between camera clicks, something happens, so small that it shouldn't matter, yet big enough to set every feed on fire. A hand reaches out, a single touch, and suddenly, the internet can't breathe. Everyone is talking. Was this heartbreak, or was this performance? No one can say for sure. But what followed wasn't just sympathy. It was a storm. Within hours, the video spreads like wildfire. Clips loop endlessly on social media. Slowed down, zoomed in, analyzed frame by frame. Some say you can see genuine pain in Erica's face, that raw, unguarded expression of loss. Others claim her glance toward Usha wasn't grief. It was strategy. The kind of practiced awareness only those raised under cameras could carry. Comment sections overflow. Hashtags rise and collide. People call it a political opera unfolding in real time. The silence between those two women becomes the most talked about sound on the internet. Behind the curtain, insiders whisper about timing. They say the footage wasn't meant to leak, that it came from a closed security feed. Others insist it was planned all along. Do you really think anything around these people happens by accident? One blogger murmurs in a viral thread. Fans argue under every post, writing paragraphs as if they were in the room. Look at the way Usha leans in, one viewer says. That's not comfort, that's control. Another fires back. You're crazy. That's empathy, not politics. In an age where truth feels like theater, everyone becomes a director. Inside Turning Point's offices, things grow tense. Workers describe long nights and quiet meetings. A source close to Erica allegedly says she hasn't slept since the clip broke. She scrolls through reactions, the praise, the hate, the conspiracy videos dissecting her gestures. How did it get out? She whispers to a friend. Who wanted this? Meanwhile, in Washington, Usha's team remains silent. No comments, no clarifications. Her absence only fuels the fire. Reporters chase her convoy, hoping for one quote, one denial. But she keeps her eyes forward, hand lightly brushing her phone as flashes light up the pavement. By the third day, the story has mutated. Talk shows debate whether this is the birth of a new political image campaign. The widow and the strategist, as one late-night host calls it. Headlines alternate between admiration and accusation. Class and compassion, one paper declares. Power play in black, another fires back. Even their outfits become symbols. Black silk for grief, gold accents for strength, dark glasses to hide what no one should see. And yet that very concealment becomes the magnet. People want to imagine what hides behind the frames. Then come the reaction videos. Influencers cry, analyze, perform sympathy. One emotional clip of a young woman whispering, "That touch healed something in me," garners millions of likes. Another creator mocks the scene, calling it grief choreography. Both go viral. The comment wars turn brutal. Friendships fracture. Families argue at dinner tables. Everyone has a version of the story. The footage, once a moment of stillness, now fuels a cycle of chaos that refuses to die. Through all this noise, a pattern emerges. Those who admired Charlie Kirk see Erica as a symbol of continuity. A woman carrying a torch her husband left behind. Those wary of her rise see calculation. Both sides claim righteousness. Neither listens. One journalist describes the situation perfectly. They're not arguing about facts anymore. They're arguing about faith. At a candlelight memorial, Erica stands silently before a crowd. Cameras flash, microphones buzz. She doesn't speak. Usha stands beside her, eyes lowered, posture firm. For a moment, time slows. The crowd watches two women sharing a loss that somehow belongs to everyone watching. When the lights dim, Erica whispers something too soft for the microphones. Witnesses later repeat the words differently. Some hear, "Thank you." Others claim she said, "We have work to do." That tiny uncertainty becomes the next headline. Back online, users connect dots that don't exist. One viral thread claims that the two women have been meeting in secret for months, plotting a new conservative women's council. Another insists the bond is purely emotional, born of shared grief and nothing more. Memes flood the platforms. Someone edits their faces onto movie posters. Sisters in silence. The alliance. Others create mock interviews using AI voices, pretending to reveal truths that were never spoken. Irony folds into misinformation, and no one can tell where the performance ends. While the internet burns, Erica retreats. She's spotted leaving her home with her children, face half hidden behind dark glasses. She looked lost, a neighbor tells a gossip channel, but she smiled at the kids. She's trying. Inside the car, according to a friend, her phone buzzes endlessly with calls she refuses to answer. One name appears again and again, Usha. Again and again, Usha. The two finally meet at a small chapel far from reporters. Witnesses describe the scene. No entourage, no cameras, just two women sitting in the pews, heads bowed. One of them whispers something that makes the other laugh, a sound that feels almost forbidden. Grief and relief intertwine. "It's all gotten so loud," Erica murmurs. "I can't breathe in my own house." Usha replies, "Then stop listening. The noise will eat you alive." The exchange leaks later through an anonymous source, turning what could have been a moment of solace into more fuel for speculation. In Washington, advisors debate whether to issue a statement. Silence looks like guilt, one aide warns. Speaking looks like weakness, another counters. Usha herself remains calm. "If the truth can't survive silence, it's not truth," she says quietly, brushing a stray hair behind her ear. Her calm unnerves the room. These are not women easily cornered. As the week drags on, the line between sympathy and suspicion blurs completely. People start revisiting old photos, clips from fundraisers, conferences, even charity galas. Every shared glance between the two is dissected. Conspiracy channels upload proof that the friendship was part of a long-planned alliance. Political analysts appear on talk shows, pretending to decode every smile. "Look at her hand," one insists. "The ring's gone. That means something." Through it all, Erica remains mostly unseen, emerging only for scheduled appearances. Her voice, once cheerful and polished, now trembles slightly when she thanks the audience. "We're rebuilding," she says during one broadcast. "Not just the organization, but our hearts." The line trends within minutes. Supporters flood comment sections with hearts and prayers. Critics call it emotional branding. Either way, everyone watches. At night, when the cameras are gone, a different story unfolds. Friends describe Erica sitting at her kitchen table, scrolling through old photos of Charlie. The laughter frozen in them feels distant. She closes her eyes and hears his voice, that fast, confident rhythm that once filled stadiums. She wonders if the world will ever let her mourn without turning it into content. In another part of the city, Usha reviews schedules, speech drafts, strategy papers. Yet every few hours, she glances at her phone, waiting for a message that doesn't come. The noise continues, louder than ever. Every network airs the same footage, each with its own slant. A friendship born in grief, one says. A calculated rise, claims another. The truth sits somewhere in between. Quiet, unseen, and uninterested in trending. But the world rarely cares about quiet truths anymore. The following morning brings another twist. A new clip surfaces. 30 seconds of unseen runway footage. It shows Usha turning toward a staff member, mouthing something indecipherable just seconds before she reaches for Erica's hand. Amateur lip readers swarm the internet with theories. Some say she whispered, "Be ready." Others insist it was, "Stay calm." Neither can be confirmed, but it doesn't matter. The story mutates again. In one viral podcast, a host sighs dramatically and says, "We used to watch leaders make policy. Now we watch them make expressions." The audience laughs, but uneasily. What started as a tragedy has become a spectacle, and no one knows how to turn it off. As evening falls, the same question circles through every feed. Who leaked it, and why now? No one has an answer. What remains is the image. Two women, a silent gesture, and a nation projecting its fears and hopes onto a single frame. Whatever it truly meant, it has already rewritten reputations, alliances, and emotions far beyond that quiet runway. And somewhere in the middle of it all, the people at the center just keep walking, hand in hand, through the storm they never asked for. The storm refused to die down. By dawn the next morning, news anchors were already dissecting every pixel of that silent clip. It wasn't just a viral moment anymore. It had become a symbol, reshaped by whoever was speaking about it. The words Usha and Erica echoed across talk shows and podcasts, repeated until they didn't sound like names, but like a phrase charged with mystery and power. No one truly knew what had happened, yet everyone was certain they did. In a quiet suburb outside Washington, a small team gathered in Erica's living room. The blinds were drawn, the air thick with unease. Her phone buzzed constantly, notifications rolling in faster than she could read them. "Should we say something?" one of her advisors asked, flipping through notes. Erica's eyes were distant. "Say what?" she replied softly. "That grief looks suspicious now?" She leaned back, exhaustion etched into every line of her face. "They want me to explain a feeling I don't even understand myself." Meanwhile, Usha Vance's office had its own crisis. Reporters camped outside her residence, cameras flashing whenever her car pulled up. Her assistant whispered that networks were offering 6 figures for an exclusive comment. Usha refused them all. "If I start explaining compassion," she murmured, "it stops being compassion." She spent hours in silence, scrolling through the messages flooding her inbox. Some praised her grace. Others accused her of stealing attention from a widow. The internet had drawn battle lines, and no explanation would change the outcome. Then came the first leak of the day. A short voice note surfaced online, allegedly from a volunteer at the airport who claimed to have overheard an argument between the two women before the flight. "She told her to wait for the right time," the distorted voice said. And the other one said she didn't care about timing. She just wanted it over. Within minutes, the clip exploded across every platform. No one knew who said what, or even if it was real, but that didn't stop anyone from sharing it. The narrative shifted again. Now the story wasn't about grief. It was about conflict. Friends close to Erica tried to push back. One went live on a small podcast, her voice trembling as she defended her friend. "Erica's been through hell," she said. "If she reached out for comfort, that's human, not political." Her plea drew sympathy, but also skepticism. "If that's true," one viewer commented, "why do all her statements sound rehearsed?" The divide only deepened. Behind closed doors, Erica's circle argued over strategy. One advisor urged her to hold a press conference and take control of the narrative. Another said silence was her strength. "Let them talk," he insisted. "The noise will burn itself out." Erica listened but didn't respond. She just stared at the muted television, watching her own face loop across multiple news channels, her expression frozen in the exact second before that famous handhold. Later that evening, she finally called Usha. The conversation began with static, pauses, long breaths. "They think we planned this," Erica whispered. "Can you believe that?" Usha exhaled quietly. Of course I can. They need a villain. If it's not you, it'll be me." Both women laughed softly, an exhausted, broken laugh that only people trapped in the same storm could share. But the laughter didn't last. That night, an anonymous source posted screenshots of alleged messages between them. "We need to look composed," one text read. "Don't let emotion show on camera." Another read, "Remember, image first." Though no one could verify the authenticity, the screenshots tore through the internet. Channels called it proof of manipulation. Fans who had once defended them turned uncertain. Hashtags changed overnight from sympathy to suspicion. Meanwhile, within Turning Point's headquarters, morale fractured. Half the staff believed Erica's silence was noble. The other half whispered that she was letting the brand crumble. A senior strategist even resigned. As all this unfolded, something shifted behind the scenes. Small blogs began reporting on a supposed divide between the two women. Sources claimed Erica felt abandoned, that Usha's silence was a calculated move to distance herself from controversy. Others swore they had proof of late-night calls between them filled with anger and regret. The truth was simpler but sadder. They hadn't spoken in days. The next evening, Erica received a small envelope with no return address. Inside was a photo, her and Usha on that same runway, hand in hand, but from a different angle. The shot was closer, more intimate, the lighting softer. On the back, someone had written, "They'll never believe you." No one ever found out who sent it. The following morning, a new rumor ignited. Someone claimed that the leak came from inside Turning Point itself, that a staff member had sold the footage to a rival media outlet. Reporters camped outside the organization's offices, chasing every employee who walked out. Inside, paranoia grew. People whispered, checked phones, deleted messages. Erica's assistant broke down crying after someone accused her of being the leak. "I loved Charlie," she sobbed. "I would never do that." But the damage was done. Trust evaporated overnight. When Erica finally appeared in public again, it wasn't at a rally or a memorial. It was a late-night church service, the kind attended by people desperate for peace. Usha arrived quietly, slipping into the pew beside her. Witnesses said they didn't speak at first, only sat side by side as the choir hummed in the background. Then, almost imperceptibly, Usha reached out again, just like in the video, and took Erica's hand. The cameras weren't supposed to be there, but one caught it anyway, grainy and distant. The image hit the internet before the candles finished burning. People went wild. "They're faking it again," some said. "This is their redemption arc," others replied. One influencer posted, "They know how to control the narrative. Every move is a script." Another countered, "Maybe they're just human." And so, the cycle restarted. That night, Erica scrolled through the comments until her eyes blurred. In the quiet of her room, she whispered to no one, "How do you prove sincerity to people who crave spectacle?" Her voice cracked. Somewhere across the city, Usha sat by her window looking out at the distant lights. She typed a message, just one line, and sent it. "You don't prove it. You live it." The message blinked on Erica's phone. She stared at it for a long time, unsure whether to reply. Before she could, a new notification popped up. A trending hashtag with their names again, only this time with a single word added, exposed. It had begun all over again. By morning, the hashtag had climbed to #1. Every outlet, from mainstream networks to fringe gossip pages, carried the same word, exposed. The meaning changed depending on who said it. To some, it meant secrets were unraveling. To others, it meant strength was being stripped bare. But to Erica, it just meant another day of surviving under lights she never asked for. She sat at the edge of her bed, phone in hand, scrolling past headlines that seemed to multiply faster than she could blink. The alliance between the widow and the vice president's wife takes a dark turn. Insiders claim emotional manipulation behind viral moment. Sources say Erica is breaking down. She clicked none of them, yet their words felt carved into her mind. Her son's laughter from another room barely reached her through the noise. She wondered how long before even her children became part of the story. Down in Washington, Usha was facing her own storm. Staff members filtered into her office in hushed tones, carrying printouts and transcripts. "It's everywhere," her aide muttered, placing a stack of papers on the desk. Usha glanced at them but didn't touch them. "Let them talk," she said finally. "Truth doesn't trend." Still, the calm in her voice didn't hide the fatigue under her eyes. She had always believed silence was dignity, but this silence was starting to sound like surrender. As the day went on, a new thread emerged online. A political blogger posted a compilation of clips showing Erica and Usha over the past 2 years. Galas, charity dinners, campaign rallies, each slowed down and narrated with ominous music. The creator claimed to reveal patterns of manipulation. One frame in particular, where Erica leaned toward Usha at a private fundraiser, was captioned, "The moment everything began." It wasn't true, but truth didn't matter anymore. Millions watched, shared, commented. It became gospel by repetition. By evening, tensions were spilling offline. Protesters gathered outside Turning Point headquarters holding signs that read, "Stop the charade." Others gathered to defend Erica, lighting candles and praying for her family. Two worlds collided outside her door. The furious and the faithful, both shouting in her name. Police cars idled nearby, engines humming, as if even the city didn't know what side to stand on. Inside, Erica's living room was dimly lit. She sat with her closest friend, Lauren, who had flown in from Texas to be with her. "They don't see you," Lauren whispered. "They see what they need to see." Erica nodded, staring at the untouched cup of tea in her hands. "Maybe I let them," she said quietly. "Maybe I've been performing without realizing it." Lauren frowned. "No one could survive what you've survived without slipping into character sometimes. It's protection, not pretense." Just then, her phone vibrated again. A new article headline flashed. Exclusive. Leaked email suggests Vance team coordinated memorial appearance. She didn't open it. Her chest tightened. She knew it didn't matter whether the email was fake. The story had already written itself. Outside, cameras flickered through the blinds like lightning. That same night, Usha's security detail intercepted a letter addressed to her personal residence. Inside was a single printed sentence. "You made her a widow twice." No signature. The words were cut from magazines, glued unevenly onto the paper. She read it once, folded it, and placed it inside her desk drawer without a word. But her hands shook. Her husband Jade noticed. "What did they send now?" he asked. Usha met his eyes and said softly, "Nothing I didn't expect." By the next morning, a podcast uploaded an episode titled Grief or Game Plan. The host claimed to have exclusive insights from someone who had worked closely with both women. The voice on the recording was altered, the details vague, but the accusations were sharp. The anonymous speaker described private strategy sessions, suggesting that every appearance, every photograph, had been staged. They knew the impact it would have, the voice claimed. They practiced empathy until it looked effortless. Within hours, millions listened. The clip topped trending charts across multiple platforms. In response, a journalist tried to defend them with a long op-ed titled "Two Women, One Grief, No Proof." It was a plea for decency, for remembering that real lives were at the center of this circus. But it barely made a dent. Outrage was louder than empathy. Later that day, Erica met with her legal counsel. The air in the office was sterile, thick with tension. "We can sue for defamation," one lawyer said, tapping his pen. "But you'll have to testify. It'll drag this out for months, maybe years." Erica stared out the window, eyes fixed on the distant skyline. "And if I don't?" she asked. "Then they win," he said. She shook her head. "No, if I fight, they get a bigger show." After the meeting, she drove aimlessly through the city until the roads blurred. Her phone rang again, Usha's name flashing on the screen. She hesitated, then answered. "You shouldn't call," Erica said softly. That same evening, she sat alone in her living room, the only light coming from the flicker of a television she wasn't watching. The anchor on screen was replaying the original video for what felt like the 1,000th time. She whispered to herself, "It was just a moment." But even she no longer believed it. Meanwhile, in the quiet halls of the vice president's residence, Usha stood